Welcome to the shocking truth about New Year's resolutions. And this is a very important podcast from the standpoint that resolutions are very important to people for different reasons. But do they get completed? Do you end up getting to check it off of your to-do list as accomplished and feel as if you achieved your goal with that particular resolution? And in most cases, you do not. In most cases, they go unresolved. Resolutions go unresolved. And I'm talking from simple and light resolutions all the way to the big heavy duty ones, the ones that you're losing sleep over. Most of them go unresolved. So let's go ahead and start off with the what. What is it that has jacked you up from accomplishing your goals in the past when it comes to your New Year's resolutions? What caused you to not actually hit your goal in the past? And for most people, there's three main reasons. The first one is you weren't really committed. That just means that you didn't go into it saying, I am resolute about this resolution. I am rolling my sleeves up and I'm giving it my all and I will achieve what it is I want to achieve. So you just wasn't really committed. You're like, you know what? I'm going to try that. You know what? I think I'll go for that. And you didn't put all your heart into actually accomplishing it. The second reason is you weren't really sure of how to execute it, or you didn't even have a plan at all. Okay? So the second reason is just you weren't set up for success. You didn't have a plan that was a proven plan that you knew if you do step A, B, and C that you're going to accomplish that goal. So it jacked you up. And the third common reason is you ran out of willpower. Most people use willpower as their source, and willpower is temporary. It was designed to be temporary. So it's always good to use willpower as kind of like a jump starter, but that's it. That's what it's designed to do. It's short-term motivation. That's exactly what willpower is. And when you know what it is, you can use it for what it's worth and then call it a day. You can have your backup plan ready to put in place when willpower runs out. So when are good times to use willpower? When you're motivated by an event, a circumstance, something like your birthday, New Year's, maybe you're motivated because of you just had a new baby, or you just got married, or you're celebrating your 10-year anniversary. Some occasion that you're excited about and you want to help use that excitement to funnel into your motivation to accomplish a goal. And that's what we do for New Year's, except willpower is short term. Most people don't know that. So when it runs out after 2 or 3 weeks, that's when they typically just give up, because they are like, okay, I was motivated, but now the motivation is gone. I don't know what to do. So I just wash my hands of it and I keep doing life the way I've been doing it, that I'm comfortable with, that I've been settling with, and I don't question it. I just do it. I'm disappointed. I'm frustrated. I feel guilty, but oh well, I'm going back to just settling in life again. And that's unfortunate, and it does not have to be that way. I repeat, it does not have to be that way. So let's start off now that we tackled what caused you to jack up your resolutions in the past. Let's go ahead and talk about why you make resolutions in the first place. Why do the resolutions that you have right now, why do you have them? Why are they important to you? And I'll tell you, for most people, we make every decision in life to either move ourselves away from pain or move ourselves toward pleasure. We do not make decisions for any other stinking reason other than those two. Move away from pain or move toward pleasure. And the most powerful of the two is to move away from pain. So that's where the resolutions come from in the first place, is we want to move ourselves away from pain. Whether it's the pain of looking in the mirror and not being satisfied with what you see with your body, or the pain of having issues in your relationship and not being able to resolve conflicts, whether it's the pain of constantly feeling stressed or depressed and not knowing what to do and tired of being on prescribed medications, or tired of always feeling blah and always having low energy or feeling lethargic. You just get sick and tired of being sick and tired. and you're ready to get away from that pain. That's where most resolutions come from. So with that being the case, how has that worked for you in the past? Like, if you see the pattern, if you see this vicious pattern of you having this excruciating pain that you're now once and for all saying to yourself, I am ready to get rid of this pain. I'm motivated to get rid of this pain. And now I am taking the action to get rid of this pain. But you look back at your past and you notice that every year you come up with resolutions that were sparked and motivated by that pain and wanting to get rid of it. But then 2 or 3 weeks later, you were still back at square one, or in some cases even worse off than where you started. Okay? So you're like, what do I do? Like, I don't want to be in this vicious cycle again of action and motivation and a little bit of effort and all of a sudden letting it go and feeling like a failure and then feeling guilty and then basically going back to square one and saying, let me do this again. It is a very vicious cycle. It is a cycle that most people get into and they don't get out of. It literally is like being a hamster on a hamster wheel. And it just repeats itself over and over and over again. And to continue to do something and expect a different result, but you're doing the same thing over and over again every year, is the definition of insanity. So some of you all are insane. But if you're listening to this, then I commend you, because at least you're at a point where you're open-minded and you're like, let me listen to some different information so that I could possibly, even if I only take one nugget of this information and implement it, could possibly get a different result. So for that, I commend you. So let's talk about a solution to this nonsense, this craziness, this insanity. Let's talk about a freaking solution to it, okay? And the first solution is knowing your personality type. Why is that important? When you know your personality type, and there's only 4 main personality types, it helps you to use something that naturally motivates you to weave or infuse that into your plan from the get-go and make sure at all times it has that in your plan. And so the 4 main personality types, I'm about to give you those 4 main personality types, and you may hear your personality in a little bit of each one of them, but just know that you only have 1 main personality type. So when in doubt, just ask your spouse or your parent or a best friend, and they'll help you to figure out your dominant personality type. And once you know your dominant personality type, then you can know which element you need to have infused into your plan to make sure that you're able to continue on with your plan long after willpower has run dry. So personality type number 1 is fun. That means you're motivated by fun. You like to have fun. You like to be excited about what you're doing. You like it to seem interesting and exciting to you, so that each and every day you look forward to doing it because you know it has an element of fun to it. When it comes to your resolutions, in order to make sure it's fun, it may be as simple as downloading an app, the app called Streaks, where you can just streak through each day and cross out the day that you've accomplished, and you see these streaks and you're excited because you're like, man, I'm accomplishing this. Playing this game, putting it in the form of a game seems exciting to me. And so I'm looking forward to every day putting a little streak through the day that I accomplished my goal for that day. And so turning it into some type of game for you is imperative. When you make it a game, then you're more likely to play every day in your game. And you want to look at it as play. It's very important that you use that term, that I'm playing this game to accomplish my goal today. Okay? The second person is motivated by challenge and reward. You're the type of person that you can achieve the goal just by knowing at the end of the duration, we'll talk about that in a minute, the end of the duration, you have a reward waiting for you, a reward that you find exciting. So if you find it exciting to give yourself a full 2-hour deep tissue massage at the end of this, then you can set up an appointment with your masseuse at the end of this to get your massage, based on you completing your goal. And when you hit your goal, you know that that's the reward you're going to get. Also, the challenge, sometimes people like you're motivated by having a challenger. So somebody else that's doing it with you, and you kind of feel like you're challenging someone. And so you're like, man, I reached my goal today. Did you reach yours? And so you're motivated by that accountability person just for the challenge aspect, okay? So you're motivated by challenge. You need to make sure it has that element of challenge in it every single day. The third person is motivated by helping, caring, and sharing. You can call you guys the teddy bears. I call you Bear in my 4 personality types. I give each one a name, and I call you bears because that's what you're like, a teddy bear. You're motivated by doing something with a friend. You always like to do a challenge with a friend because then you're not doing it for the challenge aspect. You're doing it just to have a buddy. You like the buddy system so that you can talk about what you're accomplishing and how far you've come along and the goods and the bads and the uglies of the challenge. You can talk about that with a friend, and you can motivate and encourage one another. You're just very loving and warm. You put your heart out there for everything and for everybody. And so you're motivated by having a partner or a friend or even sometimes a coach to hold you accountable. So you have somebody, a real person to feel connected to during your challenge. I highly recommend you always have somebody to do it with, someone that agree to do it with you, because you'll lose motivation just doing it alone. You'll lose motivation, okay? And last but not least, the fourth person is motivated by routine and order. If this person were to use something like that Streaks app, they actually would get off on just checking something off their calendar every day, knowing that they achieved that goal for the day. They like to wake up every day and look at their planner, and they kind of get off on having everything written down on their planner, knowing what they're going to do that day. And they have this sense of accomplishment, just knowing that this is what they need to do and for how long, just knowing that they have a plan, that's what they get off on. And so if you're the type that's motivated by just having a routine and a regimen, and you know that I know what I'm doing today. I know for how long I'm doing it, and so now all I have to do is do it. Then that's what you are. You need to have that routine. You don't like anything to be vague. You like to know what the rules are. You like to know, you like to read everything about it. You're the type that you get off on reading the rules and regulations and the do's and the don'ts because you like to have a system. And so that's all part of the system, and it keeps you going, knowing that, I'm just following a system. I don't have to think about extra. I don't have to bring any creativity into the mix. I just need to follow the system from A to Z, and I know I'll get the results at the end. And that's your type of motivation. And so in your case, you need to have that map. You don't want to just start something and you just have a few little guidelines and you have to figure out the rest on your own. You'll get bored with that. You'll be demotivated with that, and you'll quit. Okay? Or not give it your all because you're looking for more of a system. All right, guys. So now that you know the 4 main personality types and you have figured out which one you are, now you know what you need to weave into your New Year's resolution. Now I'm going to give you the most powerful tip of all. The most powerful tip of all. The most powerful tip of all is that you want to blitz that bad boy out. B-L-I-T-Z. You want to blitz it out, baby. You want to blitz it out. Blitz, 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 blitz. Now, in my world, I call them a challenge. That's why when I work with clients, I put people on a challenge, whether it's a 3-day challenge, a 7-day challenge, a 10-day challenge, a 30-day challenge, a 6-week challenge. It doesn't matter. But I typically put people on anything from a 3-day to a 6-week blitz or challenge. And the reason why is the psychological reason. Basically, it's a way to hack the brain or to trick the brain. In most cases, people just put down what their goals are and they don't have a start date or an end date. Maybe their start date is New Year's and they're just like, this is my goal, this is my desire, and I want this to be a part of my life forever. The brain doesn't take well to that. Specifically, the subconscious does not take well to that. And it will do everything and anything in its power to sabotage you from reaching that goal when you're saying it's a life goal or you want to do it that way forever and you don't put an end date on it. So a lot of reasons why it will do that to you, and I'm not going to go into the science behind it right now, but just know that that is why these well-meaning goals that you have are quickly sabotaged. Is the subconscious comes in and it does it as a protection mechanism, but because basically what it's saying is you failed in the past when you've tried to do this, so I'm going to protect you from failing again by trying to just basically sabotage it so that you don't even put any effort in at all, because you're wasting your time and you're going to fail anyway. So let me just help you to just cut this thing short right here, right now. And that's what the subconscious is going to try to do, unless you bypass the subconscious and you use your personality type and a blitz short term in order to actually see it happen. Because what happens with a blitz is you're doing it for a short amount of time and then you stop and then you do it again and then you stop and then you do it again and then you stop. And what's going to happen is it's going to become a habit. And once it becomes a habit, now, funnily enough, the subconscious is used to it and it's part of your normal routine. And so now the subconscious does everything in its power to protect the new routine. That's why it's hard to break habits, whether they're good or bad habits. It's hard to break a habit. So right now, whatever is your New Year's resolution is your bad habit. And we're going to trick the subconscious into making it become your new habit. And then the subconscious will do everything in its power to keep that new habit. Isn't that kind of cool? You don't hear this stuff, baby. You don't hear this stuff. That's why I am the best in what I do. That's why I can talk about this stuff until the cows come home, because I'm fascinated by it. That really is what it is. I'm fascinated by it. I read everything I can get my hands on about this stuff. I'm fascinated with the mind and body. And so because of that, you don't have to take all your time and spend it on researching a million and one things. You can just allow me to help you cut through trial and error and go through and get to the meat and potatoes, as they say, of the matter. So how do you do these short and specific? When I say short, I'm talking a short duration. That means, I'll give you an example. Every 4 days, you are an angel. Let's look at it in terms of angel and devil. Every 4 days, you're an angel with it. You are literally, you do it to a T, that particular goal. So if it's your diet that you're working on, you do it to a T. Whatever your plan is, you do it to a T for 4 days. And then for 4 days, you relax. And what that means is for 4 days, if you want to still do it, you can. But if you don't, you don't have to. Again, you're tricking the brain. So you tell the brain you're done for another 4 days. You're done. That's what you just tell your brain. You're like, okay, I did it hard for 4 days. I made sure I stuck to it to a T. And then for 4 days, you are in relax mode. You're in vacation mode. You're in, if I do it, I do it. If I don't, I don't mode. Okay? That's the mode you're in. And it's very imperative that even if you still stick to it after the 4th day, that's what you tell your brain. So if you tell yourself you want to work out every single day, then you're only telling yourself you're definitely working out for 4 days. And then for 4 days, you're off. So if you do, you do. If you don't, you don't. Okay? That's why I said it's mindset. And it will get to the point where it becomes a habit. It becomes natural for you. Now, all of a sudden, 30 days later, it is your new habit. Your body craves it. Your body craves the foods you want to eat. Your body is encouraging you to do more of it. You're not using willpower anymore. Your body wants to do this stuff. And then all of a sudden, now you don't have to use that trick, the blitzes, anymore. Now you can use the blitz on a new resolution. That's why you only want to do one resolution at a time. I should say one outer, one inner resolution. You can do an outer and an inner together. So what that means, let's say you're working on love or forgiveness or your joy or happiness or peace or something like that, an inner goal, and you're working on that at the same time as you're working on an outer goal, which may be your eating, cleaning up your diet. You can do both of those together, but you don't want to do two outers at the same time. You don't want to work on, obviously diet and fitness go well together, but you don't want to do anything so that's really wellness. That's really one goal. But you don't want to do anything like work on wellness and finances at the same time, because there's something called the law of focus, which is another long subject and story. But the bottom line is, when you focus, it amplifies. It amplifies. That's why what we're doing in these blitzes is we're focusing. I read something once on Nike that when they're doing a campaign, like an advertising campaign, they have all their employees that they're working longer hours during this blitz, this advertising blitz. They're working longer hours. So they're working harder. They're working on their specific gifts. So if somebody's gift is marketing, they're solely focusing on marketing. I heard Google or Facebook does this too. If their gift is, research and development, they're solely focusing on that. And they're all going hardcore ham during this blitz time. And the company is expecting them to go above and beyond during this blitz time. But then afterwards, they can take vacation. They can, take off of work and just go and work out or go to their favorite restaurant. The company gives them gift certificates to their favorite gym and restaurant and spa, because now it's reward time. Now it's time to relax. Now it's time, you worked hard. Now it's time to play hard and honor the balance that our body needs. Yes, you work hard, but you got to counter that with some playtime and some different stress relieving techniques. And so that's what they do. And they have low turnover and they yield really, really good results. And the campaigns take off and they're complete success. And so big companies use strategies like this all the time to get phenomenal results. And you can too, starting now. You can too, starting now. Starting this year, you can implement this and your life will change, because you'll realize that, man, I was holding myself back. I was holding myself back by putting 1,000,001 resolutions on a piece of paper or in my mind and not even writing them down and saying that these things are important to me and I'm going to change and transform my whole entire life right now and I'm going to work on everything. You don't have a solid plan and you don't know what to do or how to do it. You don't have accountability partners lined up and you fail. And the techniques that I gave you guys today are very simple and doable techniques. You have to know yourself though. If you're the type of person, because I just gave you the plan, I mapped it out for you, and so you can take this information and run with it and be successful. But if you also know yourself and you're the type of person that's like, you know what, I need to hire her because I know that I'm going to jack myself up some kind of way, even though she just mapped it out for me. I know that somewhere around day 6 or week 3 or week 6, I'm going to fall, and my circumstances might cause me to fall. Or this is very, very important to me, and this year I really want to accomplish this goal, so I want to hire her and be a part of her, one of her challenges, because I want to make sure that I have professional guidance during this challenge and I get all the steps mapped out for me and that I'm able to really succeed at this thing. If that's you, then okay, then that's what you know yourself, and that's what you need to do. You need to reach out to me. You can email me at r3bodymethod@gmail.com. R as in rabbit, r3bodymethod@gmail.com. And in the subject line, put challenge. That's what this is about. You're ready for a challenge. You're ready for a challenge. And in my case, I always put a holistic component in my challenges. That means I always mix body and mind. I never do one or the other. And so we take them and we map out a plan for you. And that plan is important because it helps me to figure out what you've done in the past, what's important to you, what's been sabotaging you, and what you want right now. What's most important to you right now? What are you losing sleep about right now? What is most important to you? The highest priority. And you know you need to breathe life into it. You know you need to resurrect it. You know you need to transform it. Because in some cases, that's what it takes. It's like it's priceless for you to put your time and energy into that one thing that's screaming the loudest in your life. Screaming the loudest, the most important to you. And you know you've been settling when it comes to that. You know it's not reaching its full potential right now. You know that it can do better, that it can produce better results, that you can experience more pleasure in that area, but you know it needs to change. You know that it all starts with you and making a new choice. So if that's you, that's why I'm here. And if you don't know who I am, my name is Joy. I call myself a holistic transformation coach. I'm a certified personal trainer, synergistic kinesiologist, author of a book called R3 Diet, and I'm also an international speaker. And that's what, as I mentioned earlier, that's what I'm passionate about, helping people transform in this area and do it in the fastest and safest way possible. I'm a firm believer that once you start to see results, then you're motivated on your own after that. Once you start seeing results, trust me, a ton of motivation comes with results. It's part of the package. But when you take forever to see results, that's when you get demotivated. That's why baby steps suck. They bite. They shouldn't even be a thing. Because when you take these little baby steps, that means you're doing a little teeny bit of action and you're seeing teeny results. But when you take big steps, you see big results. But at the same time, you have to deal with the mindset. You have to overcome the different things that the mind will do and tell you to try to sabotage you. And it all starts, that's why I always start all of my programs off with an emotional detox. Because a lot of this stuff starts with limiting beliefs that you have about yourself and about your circumstance. You have some beliefs that are hindering you, some beliefs that are not, as long as you hold on to those beliefs, it doesn't matter what you do, you'll continue to sabotage the situation. As long as you believe that about yourself or about your partner if you're married or about your situation, as long as you believe some of the things you believe, you're going to keep getting the same results no matter what you do. If you believe you're not worthy to be in your best body right now, then you'll never be in your best body. If somebody that you love and you hold near and dear to you, and when you were a kid, they sabotaged you and they basically used and abused your heart and your mind by telling you negative things about who you are. And right now you're trying to tell yourself another story about who you are, but you don't remember, you're not conscious about those negative beliefs. They've just been suppressed. Then you'll never be able to reach the full potential in that area that you want to until you not only discover what that limiting belief is, but also release it the proper way. And that's what I help people do. So I hope that this was beneficial to each and every one of you. And now you're ready to start the new year off on the right foot, because you know that, hey, I've tried it my way before. I've tried it other ways in the past. They didn't work for me. So I don't really have anything to lose by trying it a new way. That's what I'm here for, ladies and gentlemen. Until next time, R3 for life. R3, reverse, retrain, rebuild your body and mind. Bye.